So, yeah, this is another video I've kind of been waiting to do for a while. How do I start this off? Back on Friday, when I said that I spent the last 10 years not having a clue whatever I'm doing, I was legitimately being serious on that. You know, all throughout, you guys know the story at this point, after, Andrew had passed away. I saw what my brothers were doing in terms of getting together and being there for each other, and it ultimately made me change my mind, which to this day I couldn't be more thankful for. But I also knew that since I was going to move on with my life, I didn't really have a backup plan. So I ended up, those of you who know me know I went to Gettysburg College and graduated with a degree in health sciences, but it took until midway through my sophomore year to find out what I wanted my major to be. I knew what I wanted my major to be, but it took me till, again, halfway through my sophomore year to declare it. And I was not a very good college student at all. Don't misunderstand me. I went to all my classes. I got all my work done. What would kill me was, sorry, I've been itching my eye. The fact that I really wasn't much of a studier. So, in the end, college exams ended up really killing me. And it was actually so bad that I actually had, that first semester senior year, I actually had to repeat a class in order to get my GPA good enough in my major to, graduate. And as luck would have it, I did. I succeeded in, getting almost everything ready for graduation. I just had one more class in my major to do, and that would have been the end of it. It ended up being kinesiology, in case any of you guys are wondering what that class was. The class I repeated was anatomy and physiology part 1, but the final class I took for my major was kinesiology. I should probably explain that. When I found out that not only did I pass anatomy and physiology part 1 with actually a really good grade overall, I was riding high. And again, this is for the fall semester. So the fact that I'm going home for, Christmas and winter break with, that was great. I remember just seeing my final grades for the semester, and I'm like, where are you at? Where are you at? I was riding high that day. And then it happened. On this day, 6 years ago, I had found out that, I should probably say one more thing before I keep going, is that when I found out that I was this close to graduating college, I thought, you know what, it really was a good idea to keep moving on with my life. I really thought it was a good idea to, move forward and, not do the deed, if you will. And then on this day, 6 years ago, it happened. I had found out that another one of my brothers had passed away. His name was Bertanza. And I mentioned this the other day, but it really does bear repeating. If I can just get out here. Whenever I do athletic contests or events, I write the initials of 16 individuals on both of my forearms. This is the coach's side, and this is the athlete's side. And if you look at the very top, the SB stands for Sean Bertanza. See, Sean Bertanza wasn't just one of my brothers, he was also one of my teammates for cross country. And he was also in my English 4 class as well. And I'll never forget, I alluded to earlier that I fought tooth and nail to get to the top 7 for cross country, and it's pretty much exactly what it was. Because I arrived there first, and I just barely make, top 7. I'm like on the cusp of getting, top 7. I'm like number 8 roughly. And then Andrew Einstein shows up. Okay, so now I may very well be legitimately 8, possibly 9. And literally the week I finally clinched the number 7 spot for me, that's when 2 individuals showed up, and Sean was one of them. Funny enough, I mentioned earlier that there was actually they have clubs at Trinity Pauling, and one of them is a running club. It turns out that Sean was so good at running club, he's like, is cross country any different? Man, I swear, more and more. I mean, I love both Andrew and I love Sean to this day, and and I love my brothers and everything, but I swear, more and more people just kept showing up out of the blue. But, yeah. I found out on this day 6 years ago, December 20th, 2012, that, Sean had passed away. I don't know the exact details, obviously, because unless you're, close-knit family to him, who would? All I know is that he passed away in his sleep, which physiologically could mean anything. And I was only just curious at the time because, again, I was a health sciences major, and this is kind of stuff that a health sciences major would technically be interested in. But I also know that what ended up happening technically really isn't any of my business at all. So, if I went the entirety of the rest of my life not knowing the exact cause of his death, I'd be okay with that. I'm perfectly fine. I mean, a part of me still wants to know, but really just, for curiosity's sake. But again, if I don't know, that's fine as well. And I'll never forget what I immediately did that day. I went to Facebook and I wrote a nice little post about all of the memories that I had with Sean. Obviously, if you guys are in my English 4 class, you guys would know this story. Because Sean actually had an afro, which I swear is one of the reasons why he was such a good athlete. Hey man, afros are not only cool, but they give you superpowers. And again, afros are cool. Right up there with sunglasses and bow ties. Anyway. Because Sean's main sport of choice was basketball. And my terminology on basketball really isn't the greatest, but I'm pretty sure Sean was Trinity Pauling starting shooting guard, I believe. It's whatever position is most known for shooting the three-point shots, because holy cow was Sean good at that. Like, I remember one time in English class, we were all happy because he got 5 for 9 3-point shots, and he's like, that was a bad day for me. We actually had wagers going on suggesting, if he doesn't make this X number of 3-point shots, then we have to shave the afro. Ah, that was those are good times. They really were. So, after I wrote my post, one of my brothers who, believe it or not, he and I actually left Trinity Polygon. Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Really bad terms. I mean, he didn't dislike me. I didn't dislike him as much as he disliked me, but we were both in agreement that it's best that we don't see each other again, because that's how much we disliked each other. After I wrote that post, he actually reached that brother that he and I left on bad terms. He actually reached out to me, and well, first of all, I was shocked beyond belief that he even did that, because it was completely out of nowhere. So, we messaged each other on Facebook for a little bit, and an interesting fact about this guy, a while back when I mentioned the McDonald's Mafia, he was actually one of the cast members in the McDonald's Mafia. So in short, we ended up, forgiving each other, and I actually consider him a really good friend. A great friend, in fact. Because, well, I'll get to that in a minute, but one thing I said is, when we messaged each other, I'm like, good, I don't want you to have to go McDonald's Mafia on my ass. That was actually a really good play, and he was really good in it too. Darn it, where was I? Yeah, so, we show up to our 5-year reunion, I see him, I see a bunch of my other brothers, and, it was a lot of fun. I actually had something really, really good, but I was about to lose my train of thought. Man, I had this all planned out too, darn it. What was I about to say? Oh, yeah, this brother of mine who ended up, again, we ended up, disliking each other. We reached out, and, he reached out to me, and we talked, and, we ended up forgiving each other, and now I consider him a really good friend, so. And that's one thing that, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about this, but, if Sean doesn't die, do my brother and I, this particular brother of mine and I, end up, talking and forgiving each other? Or, a technically bigger question, if Andrew Einstein doesn't commit suicide, am I still here? If anyone were to ask me either of those questions, I would say, for sure, that's a very fair question to ask. It is. And I'd certainly be lying if I said that I hadn't thought or pondered about that myself. But way back when, I said I was ultimately going to, commit suicide myself. And I thought, for the most part, I really was like straddling that, that fence. That line of, whether or not I was going to do it. And all it would take is one significant thing to sway me one way or the other. In the end, I want to say, because what ultimately kept me from doing it was I really was just optimistic enough to think that something was going to be powerful and impact me in a way that would change my mind instantaneously. And so, I want to believe that if Andrew didn't pass away, or if Andrew Einstein didn't pass away back in, 2008, I like to think I'd still be around. I would. If not my brothers getting together in a way that moved me to the point of changing my mind, I'm sure something else would have come along. I'm sure of it. I wouldn't know. It's just the sort of thing where you don't know what it is until, like, you see it. And then you just know. So, I may not necessarily be, living the perfect life. No one does. But I'm really glad that, I'm still here. I'm still standing. I have 300 plus brothers and probably counting, considering, who knows how many alumni are actually watching this. So I'd like to think that I'm going to be okay. Way back in 2016, back when my beloved Cowboys went to 13-3 and made it to the playoffs, their mentality was finish this fight. And they would do videos that started off with the camera like being like this close to their eyes, kind of like this. Only you would actually only like see their eyes. And they would talk about, their journey to become a Dallas Cowboy and all the stuff that made them great. If I ever made a video like that, I know how I would end it. I would say that as long as I have the good people of Horseheads around me, and the strength of my brothers within me, I will always possess the strength within me to finish this fight. And I want to believe that it still rings true, even now. So, yeah. I said this the other day too. It's on my bucket list to go see Sean's grave as well. And if I ever went to it, I would walk up and I would say the following. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall softly on your fields. And until we meet again, my brother, may the Lord hold you in the palm of his hand. I really love that saying. I do. It's definitely something that I'll always remember for the rest of my life. So, I guess there's nothing left to do now other than get ready for the day. I mean, they got a new episode of Hot Ones today, and it's going to feature Weird Al. I'm so excited for that. So, I'm looking forward to that. See, that's... Well, if I said I'd be... I don't want to... Actually, no, I don't want to say I'm alive to do every single thing because that would kind of be rubbing in. But one thing I am alive for is that I'm glad that I'm able to do this. And as I've said many, many, many times in the past, I'm not going to stop. So like, favorite, share, and hit that subscribe button. I could really use the support on YouTube. Follow me on the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You know where I'm going to be chilling at. And as always, I'm very humbled I was able to share this story with all of you. In fact, I'm beyond humbled, in fact. I'm hopeful that you take this message and, spread the word and help you and use it to help you find whatever light is on your horizon. And remember, if any of you guys ever want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear, and I will always have your back. So take care, everybody.